Is your home office secretly sabotaging your productivity? Hi everyone, I'm Valentina, your personal job matchmaker. I run a staffing company called VA in USA, and we've placed hundreds of virtual assistants from around the world to work with some of the best companies in the United States. And today, we're talking about something that can make or break your success as a virtual assistant, your home office. I've seen it all. I've seen virtual assistants working from their bed, trying to take professional calls with kids running around in the background, dealing with terrible lighting on video calls, or struggling with back pain because their desk is actually their dining table. So your workspace directly impacts your productivity, your professionalism, and honestly, your ability to attract and retain great clients. So in this video, I'm walking you through exactly how to set up your home office to be able to maximize your productivity, look professional, and create a space where you can actually do the best work. Whether you're just starting out or have been working from home for years, I guarantee you'll find something valuable here. Let's dive in. Alright, so first things first, where should your home office actually be? I know not everybody has the luxury of a dedicated office room, but you need to be strategic about the space you choose. The ideal location should have privacy and quiet. If you're taking client calls or video meetings, you need a space where you won't consistently be interrupted. A bedroom corner with a door you can close is better than an open living room. You also need natural light. This is huge for your energy level and mood. Try to position your desk near a window if possible. Natural light reduces eye strain and helps you stay alert throughout the day. Also, separation from personal life. This is a psychological aspect, but it's so important. Your brain needs to know when it's work zone or where it's work zone, and even if it's just a corner, even if it's just like, you need to create these boundaries in your mind. And you might ask, well, what if I don't have a spare room? Get creative. I've seen virtual assistants transform closets, use rooms dividers to carve out office spaces in bedroom, or even convert corner of their living room with strategic furniture placement. One of the virtual assistants that we placed is actually using a folding screen behind the desk, so to create a professional background for video calls and to mentally separate the workspace from the living space. The key is consistency. Work home from the same spot every day. This trains your brain to get into work mode, when you sit down there. And here's a pro tip. Avoid working from your bed or from your couch regularly. I know it seems comfortable, but it really destroys your posture and it kills your productivity. And it makes it much harder for you to mentally leave work when you're done with your shift at the end of the day. Let's talk about the desk and the chair. Listen, I am all for starting lean and not overspending when you're beginning your VA career. But there are two things you absolutely cannot chip out on. That's your desk and that's your chair. You're going to be spending 6 to 8 hours every day, sometimes even more, right? Bad furniture means back pain, neck pain, wrist problems, and fatigue. And when you're fatigued and when you go through this, you will not be delivering a good job for the client or for the company you're placed with. And yeah, this directly impacts your productivity and your health. If budget allows, consider a standing desk or a desk converter. Alternating between sitting and standing throughout the day is a game changer for energy and your health. You don't need to spend a fortune. I've seen fantastic setups using IKEA desks or even something cheaper, or even repurposed tables. I've seen it all. What matters is the dimensions and stability. Next one is optimize your tech setup. Your technology setup directly impacts how efficiently you can work. Let's talk about what you actually need. First of all, you need a computer, of course. You need a reliable computer that can handle multiple tasks, video calls, and whatever software your client uses. It doesn't have to be the latest model, but it needs to be fast enough so that you're not waiting around for things to load. Okay. For most virtual assistants, a laptop with at least 8 gigabytes RAM and a decent processor is sufficient. If you're doing design work or heavy multitasking, consider a 16 gigabyte RAM. If you're a video editor and you don't have a solid computer, it's going to take you so long to download the video, to make changes, to upload it, that it might make a lot more sense for that person to hire someone locally with better computer, with better tech setup, and so on. So depending on the role that you have, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are well equipped to do the job well. So speaking about tech, you also need to have a good webcam and a good microphone. All the laptops already have webcams and microphones, so that should be enough for video calls, and of course you have to make sure you sound good as well. One of my biggest pet peeves, and one of the things I don't understand, is when people refuse to turn on video cameras, especially at client meetings or anything like that. And they come up with excuses like, my camera is broken, it's not working. It might be true, but I know that there's a lot of computers, a lot of the times this is not true. And you understand what I'm saying. I spoke with my team and all of that. So make sure that you present yourself reliably, like an expert. You present yourself professionally. The internet speed, the way you sound, the way how old your computer is, all of that will directly impact how well you can get the job done. And you may be the best, most talented, most skilled person in the world, but if your tech is not reliable, then that client will get frustrated, the work will not be done fast enough, and you will be one of the first people to be replaced. So you expect the client to trust you with their work, to give you work and to give you money. Well, they expect you to be able to handle the work they give you, and that includes your skills and the tech setup. So make sure you have a good webcam, you sound good, use tools, like if you have a lot of background noise, like, avoid noises such as rooster sounds, dogs barking, construction work, kids running around, TV, all of that can be avoided if you have a noise canceling headset, which is another must-have if you're a virtual assistant. Or you can use something like krisp.ai. I can leave all the links in the description again, but krisp.ai, it eliminates background noise to leave that crisp sound. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it's very good. It's much better than not using anything. And speaking about the tech setup, of course, we kind of briefly addressed it, but internet connection, that's also very important. This is non-negotiable. You need reliable, fast internet. And if your home Wi-Fi is spotty, then get an Ethernet, connect to your router, or upgrade your internet plan. But again, people depend on you to come up with a good setup. And also, pro tip, not exactly tech setup, but also cable management. That's very important. If you're gonna have cables everywhere, if it's gonna be cluttered, you will not be able to focus. And I know this sounds minor, but tangled cables are distracting, and you will feel, the space will feel more chaotic, and you will not have enough space to do the work. So use cable clips, sleevers, or cable management box to keep everything organized and out of sight. All right, and let's move on to the next thing. And now we're talking about lighting. And lighting is everything. Lighting makes or breaks you on camera. Right? Because this is where most VAs drop the ball. So let's talk about that. Poor lighting makes you look unprofessional in video calls. It causes eye strain, and it affects your mood and energy throughout the day. So as I mentioned earlier, position your desk near a window if possible. You want a natural source of light. But if you work during the night shift, for example, if you are in the Philippines and you work during the night shift, then of course you have to use artificial lighting. But you still need a good overhead lighting or a desk lamp for evening work. Avoid harsh fluorescent lights if possible. They're terrible for your eyes and create an unflattering look on camera. You can use a ring light or a desk light. And if you do any video calls, and as a VA you probably do, invest in a ring light or a LED panel light. These are affordable and make you look professional and polished on camera. Position the light in front of you slightly above eye level. This creates even flattering light that makes you look even more awake and professional. One virtual assistant that we placed told me she started getting more compliments from clients about how put together she looked once she added proper lighting. So first impressions matter. Yes, even on Zoom. The next thing is sound management and acoustics. Nothing screams unprofessional like barking dogs, rooster sounds, traffic noise. It's kind of what we talked about, right? I briefly mentioned this. You need to control the sound environment. If you live in a noisy environment, consider soundproofing panels or acoustic foam on your walls. You can also use heavy curtains to absorb some of the sound. You can use noise canceling headset for when you need to focus. Or you can use softwares like I mentioned, krisp.ai, which cancels out the background noise and only leaves the sound that comes through your headphones. And of course, for a great office setup, you need to create boundaries. You're probably not living alone in your home. So if you're living with family, or if you have friends, or if you have roommates, you need to create boundaries on when they can interrupt you and when they cannot interrupt you. Establish clear boundaries about your work hours and when you need some quiet. a simple do not disturb sign on your door can work wonders as well. But ask them to give you the respect, because it could jeopardize your relationship with your client. Now let's talk about organization and storage. A cluttered workspace creates a cluttered mind. And this is so true. If your workspace is cluttered, your mind is cluttered as well. You need systems to keep your office organized. Keep your desk surface as clear as possible. You have what you need for the task at hand. That's it. Everything else should have a home. So you can use something like desk organizers for pens, sticky notes, for small items. You can have a filing system for important documents. Even if most of your work is remote, it so helps if you have a filing system. Or if all your work is digital, of course, you can have something like a P-Cloud or Google Drive or a Dropbox or something where you keep things organized. And when I say that a cluttered desk, I don't mean just the cluttered desk where you work. It can also be the cluttered desk the digital desk that you have, right? Your workspace, your desktop, all of that. Your desktop shouldn't look like a tornado just went through it. So you gotta create a folder system that makes sense for you to work. Name files clearly so you can find them quickly. Now, when you talk about supplies, you want to keep essential supplies within reach. That's notebook, pens for quick notes, sticky notes for important messages, chargers for your devices. Always have the chargers nearby, because you don't want your battery to run low when you're in a meeting and you put everything on hold and you go look for the charger. That looks so unprofessional, right? You have to have headphones near you. Also have a bottle of water or any water that you have. Stay hydrated, because when you work at your desk, sometimes you forget to eat, sometimes you forget to drink. So stay hydrated. And if you have any specific tools that you regularly use, make sure to have them on your desk as well. And also remember that this is where you spend a lot of your time. You spend 6 to 8 hours a day on your desk. Make it comfy. Put maybe a picture or a quote on the wall that motivates you, or maybe get a more comfortable chair, or just something, make it look your space, or put a plant or something that makes it look like you enjoy being in that space. I know it's little things, but all of these things, they add to the mood and to your energy and you wanting to be in that space. And it directly impacts the work that you're doing. So all of these personal touches in the environment is creating a better functionality for you. Now, one of the things that I see a lot, and it's very unprofessional and it also bothers me, is unprofessional, messy background. What is in your background? It's so important, and I've seen it all. I was on a call with people and their spouses was making the bed. I've seen kids running around. I've seen people in underwear more times than I can count. Trust me, I've seen it all, and it's not a good look. You want to avoid messy or cluttered background. You want to avoid personal items like laundry or dirty dishes. Yeah, I've seen that too. Or windows with direct sunlight behind you that, makes you, it causes backlight issues as well. Anything that's distracting, anything that's controversial, it should not be in the video. And if the background isn't ideal, then use a virtual background. Especially this is the advantage of you working remotely. You can use a virtual background. So if you use a virtual background, just make sure the lighting is still good. Use natural light or artificial light, but that is positioned well, because if the lighting is bad, then the edges will glitch. And before we wrap up, here are some bonus tips from successful virtual assistants I've worked with. Number 1, have a backup plan. What happens if your power goes out? If your internet fails? If your computer crashes? Have a backup system in place. A charged laptop, a mobile hotspot capability, a cloud stored files you can save, and you can use them from anywhere. All of this can save you from disaster. Set hourly reminders to check your posture, do shoulder rolls, and stand up and stretch. This prevents chronic back pain and eye strain, and that, I hear so many people complain about. And of course, before you start working, test your setup. Do a test video call with a friend, especially if you have an important meeting, especially if you have a job interview, or if you're running a webinar, or if you're doing something for your client. Make sure you test your tech before you actually do it live. Run it with a friend, check your lighting, check your audio, check your camera, check your background, record yourself, and then look at yourself recording. I know this is uncomfortable, but you never notice the little things when you're not recording yourself. When you record yourself, you notice how your posture, you notice your makeup, you notice your hair, you notice everything. You also notice how you sound, you notice your background, all of this. So make sure you do that before any important events. Alright, and that's everything you need to know about setting up a productive home office as a virtual assistant. Now remember, your workspace is an investment in your business and in your health. So start with essentials and improve it over time. At VA in USA, we've seen how a professional setup can literally change a VA's career trajectory. Clients notice when you show up polished and professional. And most importantly, you feel more confident and productive when your environment supports you. So if you're serious about your VA career, your office setup should reflect that commitment. If you found this useful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content on building a successful virtual assistant career. Drop a comment below and tell me what's one thing you're going to upgrade in your home office first. I'd love to hear that from you. And if you're looking for VA opportunities with great US companies, check out VA in USA. The link is in the description. We're always looking for talented virtual assistants from around the world, so if you have a friend who's looking for a job, make sure to share this message with them as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.